We start recording. Fantastic. We hit go start streaming on here, and then we stare at Twitch. And we stare at Twitch. And we stare at Twitch. And it's been 15 seconds, so I should be live. And I am. Sweet. Okay, hey, hi, hello. I'm still drying off. That's okay. That's okay. Hi, Nami.
Hello?
Oh, God, you sound... That mic did not sound good.
1 second.
No, you sound better now. Nope. Okay. It just cut in and out at first.
I don't have a... Well, with the UI change, my Discord restarted. So,
Oh,
you know.
no. If my
Yeah, there's a few...
changed?
I also had to re-log in, so it might have been... It might have been due to the fact I refused to update my Discord for too long.
God,
then,
I can't remember what I changed
and then
and what I didn't change. Mine
okay,
looks fine.
I have pushed to talk. I have pushed to talk again, which makes me a lot more comfortable now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Ormer.
Hello, Omra. Hola.
Ooh, you're quiet.
Hola.
Are you quiet?
No, my microphone was just away from my face.
Okay, yeah, I still have you at 120 and Nami's at 90. Yeah, Nami's great. You're not too loud. Don't turn your mic down. Your gain's good. Okay. We can look at this. I was cooking and really needed to shower before I sat down and looked at anything.
What were you cooking?
I bought like a whole chicken, and so I was roasting that for like an hour and some change. And nothing fancy, just like salt and butter on it because I wanted to use bones for soup stock. So I then dressed the chicken and started a soup stock, and then I added the chicken to an existing soup that I had going that was a beef stock stew.
Ooh, beef stock?
Yeah.
In my mind, you just have like a kitchen with like 5 large cauldrons.
No, it's a tiny kitchen. It's tiny.
I'm kidding.
It's right directly in front of me at the stove, and I can't back up or I'll hit the crock pot behind me that the soup is going in. It is a claustrophobic
How long are you planning
kitchen.
to let that stock simmer?
The soup? Well, the stock, I had it going for like an hour, but then I wanted to start winding things down, so I threw it in the fridge, and then I'll just start it up again some other time.
What do you put in your stock?
Normally, I get more creative with it. Today, it was salt, paprika, bones, skin, bones.
Bones are great.
Yeah, it's more about getting as much as possible out of the bones as I can. I bought the whole damn chicken. I'm gonna use the whole fucking thing.
No, seriously though, like bones are great for as a stock base.
Yeah, and they're good for helping to add nutrients to soup that you wouldn't otherwise get. We're immediately off topic.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for hopping into my soup chat.
I did ask about it. I am sorry.
Hey, I'm clearly happy to talk about it, but I'm like, focus.
Yeah, sorry. This chat is actually about soup stocks.
Shit. Fuck.
Yes.
Shit. Fuck. Okay.
British soup names. Okay.
I don't know if I want to eat the dreadnought soup, to be honest.
Okay, I can read. Oh, Arcan joined into the server. This has been fun, not knowing what's been going on over there. What was that, like a week ago?
I don't think even that. I think like a few days.
My sense of time this month has been horrible, so that might be true. I just checked out a video that I thought I had watched like 2 months ago, and it came out 2 weeks ago. So my sense of time is fucked. It looks like
A week ago. is when
about a
I
week ago.
joined
Yeah,
the-
the 19th, the 19th here in my time.
Okay.
So 7-8 days, very quick turnaround. I raised the point like, look, we're pretty happy, and I have to get this out front. I can't promise anything. We're content, let's say, with the stars as is. They're not bad. They're mid. They're okay. And there are valid complaints that I totally hear where people are coming from, but it's not a urgent area needing a quick fix, right? I did pass this along for what it's worth, and pinged Mark going, hey, make sure to take a look at this. This is really cool. Don't do that. Don't ping me. Don't ping Mark. But you can ping me in Star Map. But I do.
You
ping
get staff
people all the time.
privileges with this.
Yeah, if I get in trouble, it's fine. But 7 of you, 9 of you, 1, 2, Ace of Carbon, Arcan, Blockade, Drifty, Fairfaxer, Leaf Soup, Nero, that one odd 21 and Wheelies hopped on. This 3, 6, 9. I like how Ormer's excluded. Ormer was over creeping on y'all. Ormer, did you participate in any of the discussions, or were you just a certified creeper?
I just watched because I just wanted to let them do their own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
fine.
one message, if I remember correctly, the one message you put in was, explain the reasoning at the very end, sort of thing, wasn't
Yes.
it?
Yes, I just gave you guys tips at the very, very end once you were done. And I deliberately chose to not get involved in it.
I mean, you're allowed, right? Like,
No, only.
Right, but I
can't
wanted
dilute it with the
I
American.
Yeah, not only British people. Wait, were all the contributors like actually British?
mostly
You're British.
Ah.
You're British. You're British. I don't know. I think Arcan's American, right? Well, okay, it's
Yes.
British.
I mean, it's,
Drifty, I don't know. Fairfax, I don't know. Leaf Soup is British.
I also formatted their document.
Oh,
also
okay.
automated.
I was gonna say this reeks of Ormer over here on the left-hand side. It's good, but
Damn.
proposal for British names in Dawn of Victory. Why they should change. Britain is a country with thousands of years of history. I don't know that it makes it unique. Most countries do, right? I'm going to. I have a very critical, analytical, editorial lens for things. So if I push back on things, take it as a constructive note. Don't take this as me shutting anything down. I've gotten better at phrasing things in a way that sounds less harsh, but please don't take any of this negatively. Unless I reiterate it and say you're bad and should feel bad, then maybe take it negatively, but I don't think that's something we're going to have happen. The use of a singular naming theme reduces that to a few hundred years. That's true. Well, what, the oldest of those is... What fucking year is it?
Oldest castle as we
600?
kind of knew. No, it is. I mean, I would say like the first. Yeah, castles really became a thing with Normans,
Yep.
which is 1066.
Yeah, it's limiting. I'm trying to remember of those heritage castles that are listed, and I'm not even clear on the association that denotes some as heritage sites and others not. It really seems like a tourist industry thing. That was my
a lot
impression
them
of
have
it.
become.
Any organization that's like, we certify things that have existed for centuries longer than we have, and we're the authority on it. My initial feeling is distrust there. There may more naming things that could be used for Britain, and I think regardless if any of this is taken action on, other themes will be used for other British things, right? Certainly planets won't carry the same theme, certainly ships won't. We'll get to it, but my initial impression up here was a lot of like, I think a Prydwen class of ship is very cool, much cooler than a Prydwen star, but we'll get there. Throughout the past week, we've been discussing a possible name change to the current British stars, including castles as a theme, but branching out to others we believe represent Britain better. Decided to have a higher percentage of names representing shared past instead of the current setup. Still did include separate representation for each nation of the UK. True. Our process during renaming was to try and name planets as a parliamentary committee. Love it. What in this universe, that means putting the names and naming conventions may shift due to political wrangling or different pull-push factors and present occasional oddities. The Oak of Accession. Great name. Great name. Oak of Accession. Oak Accession, good. Changing the theme within the English core to more generally represent Britain as the end universe. I think this is generally a really solid core.
Yeah, that
use
was
of English. Go ahead.
I think, like, word ahead, this is the strongest region, from my opinion.
It feels like you started here and spent the most time on this.
Yeah, we did. And then I think we started here, spent quite a bit of time here, and then towards the end, as we kind of wrapped up, came back here and had quite a few a work around a few of the names.
Working on a project like this long term, there's a lot of benefit to taking a break from an area, then coming back to it a few days or a week later and going, oh, what was I thinking? What is this?
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. Like, I think the big ones were unicorn, dragon, and lion rose. That
yeah, I think
as the national symbols for Wales, Scotland, and England.
I think it was a good instinct to pull back on that, because that definitely crosses into the not comical, but maybe not carrying the right kind of tone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Changing the usage of explicitly English names in the first colonies really wouldn't achieve that. Right. So instead, we've decided to go. That was something that I kind of had as a sticking point as well with the initial proposal, was that harkening back to like the Pax Britannica, it's a problematic time period in terms of like how Britain was imagining itself and trying to destroy arguably more British languages than English and cultures than the 19th century English culture, and a lot of like Latin and Romanization and Grecophilia, just like stuff really indicative of the Victorian times. But I don't know. I felt detracts a little bit. Like, a little bit of that, like with Britannia here particularly, I think speaks well to that time period. But trying to stretch that out, I think, is a really admirable goal. Copying each names, 5 from each constituent country. That sounds fair. God, if you really wanted to get in the weeds about this, you could try and figure out, or try and determine like seats in parliament from various areas, or like project population for various areas to see what their, you know, air quotes here, fair share of the names would be, and go from there. Don't do that. We're not doing that. That sounds awful. Britannia, personification of the British Islands. Yep. Cauldron, Caledon. Where's Caledon? My boy.
Yeah, that's the name before the change.
Oh, okay. I'm like
published map.
Gotcha. Represents
Name after
British
the Scottish
Commonwealth. Okay.
Okay.
Kerbal, stop, Mike. Kerbal. Are you okay?
Just keep saying Kerbal.
Fuck! I thought my mic was off.
No, buddy.
Oh my
no.
god.
It's a jam, though. It's a good ringtone.
No. I'm
It's a
so
bit of a
sorry.
shock,
It's fine, man. It's
I
fine.
really thought it was
You're
muted.
paying for it embarrassment. That's the only currency that matters.
You're expending social capital.
I'm never
Wow.
recovering from this.
All right. Yeah, Caledon, right, it's just a castle. Commonwealth, I get that the British Commonwealth is a thing. Commonwealth, and the words started over there, so arguably you have better claim to it. Commonwealth also applies to a bunch of other places and countries, and that's, I think, why I was kind of iffy on it. It's British, undeniably. Is it only British? No. Would they get the first claim to it? Probably. So this probably works.
They would certainly try to get the claim for it.
Yeah.
So, like, from their own perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't hate it. Remembrance, it walks the line. I think Remembrance could be really good as a name, or I think it could be kind of interpreted as being a little heavy-handed. I like it, personally, but that's, I think, again, why Remembrance is yellow. Yep. Because I like it, I get what it's going for, and I think the tone that it conveys is interesting and good, but might be too... not even intense. I don't know. It's not bad. I don't think it needs to change. It's just, I'm anticipating criticism. Windsor, gets moved. So I don't need to talk about that going away. Jubilee, great name. One of my great name, great literal meaning. I like it inordinately because I like a good friend of mine has that name. So get to cheat a little bit there. Manchester, happy to see it go. Haha. Sovereign, I think is a great name for a star. Sovereign rocks as a system name. Sovereign's cool as hell. Sovereign certified fucks. It can represent sovereignty. It can also be the sovereign, though, yeah, the overlap is obvious. The intentionality there being somewhat ambiguous, I think is cool, especially for a system or a setting like Dawn of Victory where the tone changes, where, Oto are probably the nations you would want to live in if you had to live in this setting. Not if you're me, but, most people. But there's some ominous, dreadful, dystopian things that happen there as well, and so the duality of a word like sovereign, I think, works really well. Harewood. We have Harewood on the fuck. No, not that map. Map. Not maps. Map. There. Harewood? Am I, man, my, yeah.
Yep.
You can tell that
jumped.
the UK star names was Mark got a theme and ran with it, and oh god, the duplicates. But,
And again, as I've said before, I would say it is a cool thing to go with.
yeah,
it
I'm just
just
saying me not
Didn't work
remembering.
out as well as in practice as it would have worked out as it does on paper. Yeah.
Yeah, my not engaging so much with the design of this area, so I'm seeing names, I'm like, Harewood? I don't remember that because I didn't name it. There was... I was pretty happy to be hands-off on the UK stars because, Mark is a Canadian, I think, is arguably 30% more British than I am as an American, though I think genealogically I may be more British than he is. Really, thought-provoking contest there to see who's the most British of the Americans.
Yeah. What a
Paramount's-
contest. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
I don't-
coming in dead last.
Deliberately.
I'd
I'm
secede again
coming
if
in
I
dead
could.
last.
Armor with your bleeding red, white, and blue. Yeah.
Bleeding red, white, and blue without even technically, without having any familial ties to this country aside from my immediate family.
Paramount's great. Yep. Thistle. Whew, bud. Thistle does not carry tonally to an American audience. Thistle here is a weed.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw Thistle and I'm like, ugh, that's
I
Maybe-
thought that's what it was.
yeah.
I actually like I think that the Scottish thistle is like a really cool symbol.
Yep.
But I don't know if would carry super well
Yeah.
to an audience. It's going to be mostly
It-
American and Canadian.
It is wild that this plant, which here, if you see milk thistle, something.
It looks
This is good for bees. It's really good for bees. But it's
those are
spiky
cool.
and it sucks. And like from experience with farming, this stuff is a pain in the ass. When you're like making hay or clearing a field, or like cows won't eat this shit; they'll just leave it alone. So you,
Which understandable. To
On the
be
plus
honest.
side, the flowers do look like small stars.
yeah,
They do.
They're cool. I like thistle. I think it's pretty, and thistle has like some medicinal uses as well, right? Yeah. Is it a numbing agent? No. It can lower blood sugar.
Huh.
Can help treat liver gallbladder problems. Interesting. Recommended for hepatitis, cirrhosis, jaundice, diabetes, and indigestion. Huh. You know, TIL. Been picking a lot of thistle in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Thistle's... I don't know if it has enough gravity to a general audience. I think I'm yellow? I didn't read this one, right?
Yellow. Yellow is.
Yeah. I get it, but also hesitation. Red hand, yeah. It's a common symbol associated with Ulster, and it goes back a long way, right?
Yep.
Like the 600s.
I don't know much
800s?
about the Northern Irish and Irish culture, but I do know that it is a very important symbol. It has quite a bit of history for it.
Yeah. Well, this is talking about it being made on a flag. No, prior to that. It is an important symbol, but as a star name Red Hand is ominous as fuck. You cannot expect good things to happen in the Red Hand system. And
Red Hand like kind of gives off PMC vibes, like very shady PMC vibes.
it gives Command and Conquer kind of tone, and that's not bad, but it's
The
Sure.
Ulster Red Hands sounds like it would be a PMC. Or like
Or Red
just
Hand
like
PMC, yeah.
a division or a regiment or something like that.
I think it would be a cool like military formation name.
Yeah. But as a
Like,
star, it's jarring to a broader audience. Does the Red Hand have another name?
well, it has an
That
Irish.
just means red
Red
hand, right?
Yeah, it is. It is just the red hand.
Okay. I'm looking at Irish. I'm like, I know one of those words. Yeah, it's not. It's a cool idea. I'm just anticipating the note like, nah, not the vibe. Whitehall, great, love Whitehall. I had Whitehall highlighted for a long time. I think it's really evocative of like the modern period, especially. Great. no notes. Kinahan. Leek. Oh no.
It's the Welsh name for either the national flower or the national symbol. We hate our the national flowers are not particularly cool flowers.
Well, they're not here either. We have a fucking rose. I think as a name scheme, flowers and plants generally kind of suck. I'm a certified hater. Like this area down here in the US, I want to set fire to it. So I'm
Well, Wheelies, at least your national plants are actually from Britain. Bulgaria's national flower is a Syrian rose.
interesting.
Yeah, the damask rose. It gets its name from Damascus.
Damascus, yes.
Yep. The flowers came to Bulgaria, but they've become a national symbol of Bulgaria.
Hmm.
Sredna Gora has a lot of rose fields in it.
Videohos, that's right. That's why this word looks similar. It's the monarch's residence in Canada. I highlighted this for Canada. Fuck, I think I put this on a draft that I did of Canada. If Rudel were up in the Canadian stars, yes. Yes. Is it right across? Is that? Nope. It's way down here. But I guess
It's
the
in the
logic
core
being the
system
Canadian
as-
systems weren't colonized yet.
Well, actually, the logic for this cluster, as it says in the paragraph, is that it has the national symbols of the five. In this case, 5 home nations, because Canada is a part of it,
Yeah.
as well as the 6 British values, ideals. They're not just words you would associate with Britishness, sort of thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
However, Canada's national symbols be the national animal being beaver and flower being bunchberry, and then the symbol being maple. We all kind of went, they're not. It's just a bit like having dragon and unicorn, just a bit
Yeah.
too goofy.
That's why.
For the
The beaver system is.
And even if it weren't for the tone, it's a sharp change in atmosphere. That's why Canada's up here with its with its own systems. Okay, how far away are they? Probably the rationale being that Canada was settled by the United Kingdom because at the same time as the first cluster, because when Mark was going over the Sea of Clouds and talking about the geopolitics, Canada is just kind of here. Canada wasn't talked about in it being a first generation, second generation, third generation. It's just here. So my assumption would be, especially since the Anzac core over here was the first gen, Canada might also be a first generation. I mean, Ireland's here too, so I think maybe we can get away with just moving all the Canadian themes up here into exile. The Canadian themes names actually Mark is not in love with, so imagine that. People from their countries having more of a picky
Opinion.
taste when it comes to their own country. The castle line.
Wow,
yeah,
wow.
this is where a lot of the castles ended up. Fair enough.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I made most of these yellow, right? Yeah, I'm Stirling Castle. I like Stormont. I like Peveril. I don't remember why I like Peveril. Why do I like Peveril? Established soon after the Norman conquest. That might be why. Tintagel, obvious reasons. Yeah. I think of the castles, these are some of the stronger ones. Blair, maybe less, but not bad. Nami, what are you eating?
I'm not eating anything. This is
Armor? What are
armor.
you eating?
It sounds like a
Celery?
carrot. Yeah.
That was a pizza crust.
Fuck, alright. Both of
Damn.
us are imagining
Ugh,
healthier
crunchy
diet for you.
fucking pizza crust. Damn.
Apparently, we're imagining you eating like a bunny for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, like
I could see that.
Eating a rabbit whole.
No, imagine
or is
eating
a
a rabbit. eating in a way similar to that of a rabbit.
What's up, Doc?
I don't have a lot to say on the castles. I think these are some good highlights of the existing castles. If I were to color the existing ones in, most of these would be yellow. It's okay. Oh, yellow doesn't mean this needs to change. Yellow is okay, green is good, red is... I'm hesitant. The Atlantic line. Yeah, there is some... missed potential in leaning into the symbolism of Atlantis and Avalon, and I know some folks have thrown the idea of like having little island clusters in here to help get that Atlantic feel. It's a neat idea.
It's more of a Pacific feel, though. Island hopping.
Yeah, more. Well, I mean, you got a couple.
Yeah, you got
not
what?
more than a couple, but
Canaries.
a couple. Where'd I go? There we are. Beagle.
The
Yep.
name.
That's what that is. Challenger. Yep, that's what that is. Pridwin. Yep. Dreadnought. Yep.
Wait, Pridwin,
Victory.
like
Yep.
from Fallout 4?
Yeah, I honestly, that's a mark against it. Pridwin, I'm like, it's a cool name, but God, somebody got to that first and really, really poisoned the well. I think most of these are better as ship class names, like an Argus class. Absolutely, my ding against it was this is a Greek word, and it just goes back to, well, the United Kingdom, like most European countries, appropriated a lot of Greek culture and Greek symbolism because they're cool stories. They're cool symbols. And so, like, yeah, Dargus, hell yeah, it's a cool name for a ship, for a star. You know, the people there would be Argonauts, it'd be a whole thing. Victory, I don't know if we can get away with naming a star Victory. Because
Listen,
the setting is Dawn of Victory.
It's
Yes. John Victory from the Victory system on the Victory class destroyer.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
don't think Victory we can pull off. I have it as yellow. I don't hate it, but it's orange maybe. Dreadnought. It's a boat. I don't know. My brain, it's just like, that's a boat. That's a boat. That's not a star. But you know, to put a fine point on it, we had a Mayflower system for a while over in the US, right? We don't anymore.
Yes.
In
But
the
we did
very
once.
first draft. Yeah.
It's too obvious.
And I've submitted some ideas for having clusters with like early colonial ships for the US. So I'm back and forth with boats. Some days I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Other days I'm like, just name ships after boats, not stars.
Big thing was to try and sort of like honoring even today we are very uppity about our naval prowess and everything, even
Yeah.
though it's not the same as it used to be in the day. And especially with this being like the north heading up towards Canada, you had the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, like in between those two. It was all very fitting. So
Yeah, I think it's a very difficult challenge to evoke the traditions of seamanship, of having a naval tradition, of a great wooden wall, etc., without using words that just don't work well with star names. Like, there's a lot that you could go with, like, ports, but then the ports probably aren't going to be that evocative of the nautical feel as much as a boat.
You could just start calling places like, this is brine, anchor, port, starboard.
Anchor, I
What?
don't think is bad. Anchor in the UK, no. Anchor out in the frontier, I think an anchor system out here, pretty cool. Down in the UK, no. Do we have an anchorage? We don't, right?
That's wild.
I
Remember anchorage.
Well, because
can't
it's
remember.
capital of a state. I think that's
of
a
Alaska.
few things. I
It's
think
not.
a few names.
The
No, it's
capital
not.
of
Juneau
Alaska.
is.
Wait, it's not.
It's Juneau.
Juneau.
It's the biggest city in Alaska, though.
Oh, I get. I see. It's like
Well, like for
Frankfurt
example,
moment.
Nami,
See.
do you know what the
Yeah,
capital of
it's not on the
Chicago
map.
is?
of
Not
what?
Chicago, fucking Illinois. Do you know the capital of Illinois? Shut up.
Well,
Chicago.
I'm going to say Chicago, so you can now correct me.
It's Springfield.
Whoa, got him.
What? Like
Got
from-
him.
Oh my god.
Simpsons? That's where the Simpsons are from?
So true. Yeah, it is.
There's like 5 Springfield. I know that.
St.
I know
Andrews
there's
is a college. That's right. I'm like, I don't remember why I like St. Andrews, but that's a that's a cool name. Green. Yeah, that's a college. Okay, that's what's going on over here. Yeah, look, is it a little
Quality
basic to be
university.
like Cambridge, Oxford? Yeah. I'm a fucking nerd. Yeah, I think they're very powerful symbols. They are old. They have a lot of very well-earned reputation, certainly pretentious, extremely British, like an embodiment of academia and soft power and legacy and tradition in an aspirational way. I think Cambridge and Oxford are really hard to not include.
Yeah. They also do, like, they are quite powerful institutions. And
Yeah.
especially so, like, in the time of the breakaway point, I could even imagine them being more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you have
with-
entire systems of new planets to investigate and study, so research universities are
Yeah. And
in high demand.
during the Terran
Yeah,
interim, like,
big.
the research Cold War, or like the academic Cold War,
Yeah.
Mhm.
to like
Scientific.
seize the
Oh,
Synfaxi.
like
Yeah.
for all mankind, the Cold War scales technologically and not militarily.
I would say that is certainly a possibility for DOV.
Yeah.
Let's
To be fair,
see.
just being in space, like the astrophysical potential of like research and stuff, being able to be there in person, you're just going to have a massive explosion of research, and colleges are going to get so much money.
Yeah. Also, one thing is that in the evacuation era, a way to get off Earth would be probably getting some sort of certification or education so you can get on board a colony ship.
God, that sucks.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
sir. Only PhDs on this evacuation
No,
vessel.
well, no,
Your
but it's
undergrad
like-
ass is gonna have to wait 20 years. That
No, yeah,
sucks.
exactly. No, but think about it. That's like, at least in the early evacuation era, that's how you get off Earth. You
Nope.
have to have.
No, you're
gotta stand
absolutely
out.
right. You're absolutely right. I used to when I was younger and went to bars a lot, one of my favorite questions to ask people while drinking was, okay, so you are put in charge of a colony ship, generation ship. It's going to take 1,000 years to get where it's going. You can put 1,000 people on board to, restart humanity somewhere else. The world is ending. This has to be done. Who do you put on board? And people jump to intellectuals, spiritual leaders, political leaders. But if you really take a step back and you look at the question of who do we evacuate, who do we not evacuate, the hypothetical is asking you for your opinions on
Importance in society.
yeah, and in this part, it's kind of a passive ethnic cleansing, right? Like, who gets to live? My answer, it slowly developed into, I'd kind of want people from every walk of life. I'd want people I agree with, people I disagree with, people who are extremely qualified and leaders in their field, people who are just, like, kind. I don't think that it's possible to take all of humanity and put it on a ship, or even 100 ships, and rebuild elsewhere. So one of the big challenges and ideological differences of these states is, look, we have to be practical. We have to send engineers and scientists, and we have to send young people of reproductive age, and we have to, really try to
Fuck them all.
think about this
They're
practically.
all stuck on Earth as it dies.
Yeah, kinda, right? Like, there's some practicality that, okay, eventually it might be open to people who are wealthy or people who have earned a certain amount of social credits, but then also, like, your proximity to the nearest spaceport starts coming into account, and the ethics of evacuation are one of a very fun thing that I look forward to talking more about.
Oh, actually, I'm writing something about that.
That
I'm
fucking
writing
rocks. I look forward
I'm
to reading
writing-
it.
A brochure about the process of getting up into space.
That's cool. Nurses. Okay, these are nurses. Okay. I recognize.
Yep.
I didn't recognize Nightingale. I forgot Florence Nightingale. I'm like, that's a bird. I like the bird. And then I'm like, why are there two nurses here?
No, they are all the nurses.
Here, and especially down here, we get way too heavy with the people names. So we don't have a ratio of people names to not people names. It should be like 1 in 10 or 1 in 20. But Mark will disagree with me and say that we shouldn't have a hard number. But you can also look at what we currently have and tear apart the numbers, and it comes to about 5%, 10% at most. So an entire cluster named after people. Hold on. I'm gonna scroll over to something so you can appreciate the hypocrisy as I put this center screen. I don't like it. And I kind of don't like it over in the US either, to be honest with you.
Literally, but he's going to get one if the United States is doing space colonialism.
Yeah, so I think I like Nightingale. I like Lovelace a lot. We haven't gotten there, but like some of those names, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, that's sci-fi. No, I was about to start talking about something that would spiral for a while. The cool names, nurses. So the idea is these people should be founders or thought leaders or like such big, larger than life characters that they border on being deified. So for the United States, having Washington, Jefferson, I don't think Franklin belongs there. But Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, Roosevelt, Hamlin, those make sense. Locke, Mill, Voltaire, like philosophers of liberalism that helped create the ideology that Otto's built upon. Yeah, sure. We got rid of a lot of the rest of the American ones. Okay, there were some hangers on in the US star names that were just like not important people. Down here in the Magellan subcluster, some of these are bound to change. Some in Brazil are okay, like explorer, founders, explorers, thought leaders, philosophers, that kind of thing. Those tend to be easier sells. And then like vibes. So like Nightingale's also just a cool word. So fuck yeah, that's easy. And Lovelace, with the relationship to pioneering some early computing and being sci-fi adjacent because of that, or science adjacent because of that, works. Maxwell, Maxwell and Planck. Why is my brain filling that in?
Planck.
You have Max Planck, and then
I'm thinking of a different person entirely. What?
You are.
Okay.
Max.
James Clerk Maxwell. I'm trying to remember. I studied physics in college. Hold on.
Electromagnetism.
Fuck.
And he got the smallest meaningful measurement in the universe named after him.
And yeah.
Why don't I remember you?
Maxwell's laws on electromagnetism, and he was actually the big guy that kind of like unified electricity and magnetism with those.
Oh right, I had that. Oh my god, that's my 11th grade stuff.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
So
Maxwell's demon. Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's currently as somebody that is currently in the final year of the degree. Clark was very much supportive of this one. Slightly biased.
I think Maxwell's cool. I don't know that it reads again, and that's such a shitty critique and response and concern is, does it read, right? I don't know better than anyone else except Mark. No, I don't know better than Mark. Mark knows better than anyone else, I think, how well something does or does not read to the intended audience or fit a general tone. Maxwell just sounds... I don't know. I've dated Maxwell's too, so for me, is a name like, it's just such a...
That's
That
a
could be
first name?
anybody kind of name.
That's always like the issue when you have last names that are first names.
Yeah.
Shakespeare. That just sucks, kinda. Yeah.
I don't know, dog. Shakespeare's pivotal to the modern English language with a lot of slang, with
theater,
wholesale words that entered into the English lexicon because of him. We
literally have a part of our I'll say the second, like high school studies dedicated. We have to study him.
Yeah, they send London school kids into the theater to reenact the plays.
Yeah, we have to do that here.
We have to do that with Goethe. Yeah,
Shakespeare is well known but not well loved in the United States. Everyone has read at least 2 or 3 Shakespeare plays in the US in public school. Everyone has had to act in at least one Shakespeare play.
Macbeth was mine. Also did some Romeo and Juliet. He was just he's just, for doing an important figure in England history, he is up there.
Yeah. Yep. I don't
really getting around him really.
In the same way that we don't have authors anywhere else in owned systems. Not in Australia, not in the Philippines, not in the US, not in Brazil, not in India, not in Turkey, not in Chile or Gran Colombia, not in Argentina, not in Italy. No, these were leaders who also wrote things. Yeah, we don't have a single artist in a owned system or an occupied system. For something like... I don't know why Shakespeare sounds weird to me, but it does. There's something about it that resonates in a weird way and feels off, and it's just a je ne sais quoi kind of thing. There's something about it that I don't...
Star Trek. It's Star Trek.
Is it Star Trek?
They talk so much about it. Jean-Luc Picard in The Next Generation, they are always talking about Shakespeare.
That's true. Well, the original series, too, they used to say... there's some lines about like certain Klingon or Shakespeare things being in the original Klingon, and Spock.
Klingons like Shakespeare. It's a cultural
Spock is like, my ancestor said that da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, no. I like Star Trek, so it's not that's leaning against it. It just feels weird as a star name to me. And
he's too much of that annoying poet you have to study.
I like Shakespeare is the thing. Like, he's, what I was thinking about this in the shower. If you would put Chaucer instead of Shakespeare, I'd like it more, even though Chaucer is arguably less important. Why? I don't know. But, there's something there in my brain, and I can't tell if this is a me thing going, Shakespeare, that's kind of generic. I don't know if that feels right. I don't know how universal that impression is. Maybe Shakespeare hits to a general audience well, but my initial impression was like, it's too on the nose. But
I think it's the maple problem again, or the unicorn, but with an actual person, of like, oh, this is kinda off tone, because extremely important person, but in like popular culture, like in contemporary culture, referenced in like such a way, like when I hear Shakespeare, I think of comedy skits about Shakespeare and then the works.
some Shakespearean plays hit the tone. Hamlet and Dawn of Victory go hand in hand. So it's not. I think it's a perception problem on my part, and I don't know how widespread that perception is. So that's where my apprehension's coming from. I would love a cluster way out in the boonies, like, do I still have it open? Like here in this third generation space, or past the frontier and unsettled areas, like out here, to start using Shakespearean characters as star names in certain areas. Like, I don't know, Puck isn't very good, but something to that effect for frontier names. Cool. I think there's something there. I think I want to lend a lot of credence to the thought process here, because I think there's a lot of value there. I just don't know how to best execute on it. Scepter of Scone. Okay, this felt Scottish. Balmoral, famously royal residence in Scotland.
Yep.
Beautiful. Skye is an island. Lamond is a loch. That's right. I couldn't remember what it was when I highlighted it. I'm like, I know this word, but I don't know why I know this word. Tay is a river, longest in Scotland. A lot of these check off boxes. I think Scotland's pretty good here. Fourth.
Yeah,
Fourth just means river, doesn't it? Like,
it is. I mean, it's called the River Forth.
No, but phonetically, am I remembering this wrong? Forth stems from the name of the river, meaning slow running. No, I'm wrong.
Yippee.
Yippee!
So the name isn't bad.
No, it's not bad, and I didn't mark it as a no. It was just, I'm not sure about this one. These are, I think, as far as getting a really condensed Scottish theme down, this does it pretty well. I think you'd be hard pressed to do better than this for like a five system Scottish cluster. And you can tell Americans had nothing to do with it because you have Loch Lomond and not Loch Ness. That's good shit.
Yeah, Ness was in there originally, but
good to cut it.
We did a rewrite because it was also then referenced the different regions of Scotland, so the islands, the highlands, the lowlands, and yeah, having it all there.
Drifty responded, Winchester, I can see your point about having a largely American audience. I don't think it's a bad thing to have names they won't understand. Yep. I don't think that's a bad thing either. That's just apprehension. With Winchester, with like Lincoln right now, Ormer mentions Lincoln being in the UK and not the US once a month.
That is not true.
Once every other month?
That is a slanderous lie.
I'm getting closer. Not
How often do you talk
infrequently.
No, I talk about FDR more frequently. Okay.
But about him you talk like every week, at least.
That's not true. I don't think I've even brought up Lincoln in a while.
No, FDR.
FDR.
You mention every day.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
you just
Lyndon
mentioned
Johnson.
it right now.
So I think there are names like Winchester, like Lincoln, that Americans will look at and go like, no, fuck you, that's ours. Even though the word comes from the United Kingdom.
Maybe that's fun.
I'm glad that it's a removed third party. The Germans can sit and laugh.
It's the German tradition.
Maybe
Neutral
you
third
should.
party that's brought in to mediate.
Yes, this is this is usually what we do here. Maybe it's fun for goading Americans into arguing about that.
I don't think it's bad, right? Like
Yeah. I think it would
just
be funny, and that's
I
good.
think it's a like
Honestly,
this
I
will
would
save me
try
a
and go
headache to
mad
not
as
do
bad.
it kind of thing. The fewer names that I get repeat comments on, the better. Just because I've come to peace with, I get tired of explaining things after the 5th time. Maybe that's the alarm it's setting off in my head, like, people are gonna ask questions about that over and over, and I don't want to deal with that. That may be it. But Winchester isn't bad. Although, in context of DOE, when I read Winchester, I didn't think the guy who made the gun. I thought about the Winchester house in California, built by his widow, which is became a passion project of hers, architecture, just to remodel it constantly for the rest of her life, with doorways leading nowhere and like windows in the ceiling, and just like a testament to a project run amok with no timelines, just iteration after iteration after iteration, sliding into madness. I
So
think
you
it's a really
really-
good metaphor for the work we do.
Wow.
Not even my metaphor, it's Mark's. So Winchester has a soft spot in my heart because of that. Windsor, great. Dover, great. Ironbridge, great. Watling, fine. I know what it is, but it evokes no feelings from me. But again, I'm an American, so like a lot of these are gonna just get a like, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And that's it, which is not to pat myself on the back too much, but for an American, I'm fairly well educated.
That's for an American, though. For an American, which means that you're an idiot compared to a British person.
Pevensy's also evocative of the Norman landing. What was that the actual site of the landing?
Pevensey is one that I personally push for, is because yes, it is the actual site. It was the site of the first castle that William the Conqueror made. He built the castle in the Roman fort that was there. It's what already one of the closest points is across the channel. It then saw quite a bit of action as a fort and sieges afterwards. So yeah, everyone thinks of Hastings when they think of the Normans, but Pevensey's,
Hastings
argue, is a bit more
like
important.
the region, right? More than the
it's
place?
the battle of Hastings actually didn't happen at Hastings. It happened what is now called Battle after the Battle of Hastings. We don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. It's fine. It's fine. I do like Pevensey as a name quite a bit. We don't have Pevensey right now, do we?
No,
I think
you did
Pevensey
have
was
it
another
as a
highlight.
previous iteration, because I made this comment before on one of the earlier drafts about she had Pevensey and Hastings right next to each other. I was like, you could probably drop one of those two, and if you're going to do that, please drop Hastings, because I also have the slight bias that I studied Pevensey as my case study when I did my history exam.
I do want to reiterate again, even if none of these are star names, a lot of these are good names for planets, for clusters. Pointedly, none of the clusters over here have names. And like, this probably needs a name. This probably needs a name. These individual clusters probably needs a name. This looks cool. It probably needs a name. What the fuck are these holes? These probably need a name, right? So, just because a name doesn't get used where it's initially submitted or argued for, if you keep talking about something, it'll it'll circulate. It'll get around. Windsor, yeah. Yep, the official residence of the monarch and the current dynasty, right? It's the House
Yep.
of Windsor right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
right,
German.
right. I ask obvious question, hoping that I'm not
You
wrong.
are correct. Don't worry.
Windermere. Windermere is a word that it's a name that has been borrowed so heavily here in the United States for like apartment complexes and condominiums and planned neighborhoods that it doesn't sound British at all to me anymore. I hear Windermere and I'm like, pretentious. And that's my initial impression. It has nothing to do with you all. It has to do with the kind of Americans that think that, yes, I want to live in Windermere, but not actually. It's a lake. A lake district. Largest lake in England. Oh.
Yep, and we do like the Lake District is quite a popular like domestic holiday spot.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty.
Yeah, we have a lot of those too.
Hence why it's right next to Cotswolds, which are, the Cotswolds. Again, a very picturesque thing.
Cotswolds are hills, right? I studied like English landscape art for like a semester.
Yeah. There are hills around.
Cotswold Stone. That rings a bell. Why do I know what the hell this is?
And it is one of our big things. Like a good chunk of the area has been designated an area of outstanding natural beauty. Like
this is why
it's got designated past TOD, but it's big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
well, it does
similar
mean
to the Lake District.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Insists person that very clearly has gone off the edge a long time ago. Northern Ireland. Ulster feels too DOV classic, just slapping like province names on stars and calling it a day. Same thing for Gwynedd. So I'm not crazy about these. Anglesey, Clwydian, and Gower, I think are places, right? Gower's a peninsula. Clwydian's... I don't call this a mountain range. This is a hill range, right? Yeah, hill range.
So it's
okay,
actually
good.
the worn down remains of the other side of the Appalachia.
Oh, that's right! That I fucking forgot about that. There's cool fossils that came from this area.
Older than the trees.
Yeah. Nope.
Literally older than all trees on the planet.
That's right. That is really cool.
Unless it isn't. I could be dead wrong.
It is. It's kind of horrifying going to a place that's older than bones, right? The Appalachian Mountains are older than bones.
Yeah.
Which is just fucked up to think about. Extremely haunted. Yeah, I think these last three are very safe in terms of that's iconic geography. Yep, we use that a lot, and just going like, okay, sure.
As the mouth of a this creature.
We also, between us, in the British chat, we didn't have enough. There was no Welsh amongst us, and we don't really know much about whether there'll be anything more, symbolic or sort of better to go with. So we kind of left it as is.
That is very understandable. I've been there.
Yeah, we changed Ulster from from what it was before. Yeah, exactly. To just because it's more representative of Northern Ireland rather than the island of Ireland.
Hibernia comes from Greek too, and it wasn't necessarily Ireland initially. Hibernia was just a place off to the north, and then I think it was the monks that took the name Hibernia and said, "No, it's Ireland. This is Hibernia." I think. I might be misremembering that, but I don't love Hibernia as a name either. Hadrian's Gate.
A name for the end of the world.
Huh. Yeah, the
So
northern
yeah,
one.
well, yeah, basically, yeah, we wanted to kind of like name each region has that name. Hadrian's Gaze, obviously playing on Hadrian's Wall, and the fact that you would want to look out and see more space to go out and colonize and expand the borders and etc. etc.
That is interesting, thinking about, well, Hadrian was a Roman emperor, right? But with the Italians, we have no Roman emperors. We don't really have any actual Roman anything over here, except the Seven Hills. But it would be interesting to put a twist on it and have the British appropriate a Roman emperor and be the ones to use his namesake somewhere. I don't hate that, but it is strange, and strange kind of in a good way.
I mean,
I think it's playing more off of from the wall, which
I know.
Rather than the emperor, but it's still an iconic thing to state, especially with the tree that very recently got cut down and everything, which was horrid to see. Yeah, and then just fitting name for the frontier, basically.
I think that a lot of these are good. Hadrian's Gaze is a name. It works. I'd have to think about it for like what we'd want to put in that area to lend more to that theme. Typically when we have like the Calypso Deeps here, we have names that relate to aspects of Calypso. Well, this is actually a chicken egg situation where the name came later, so maybe that's a bad example. Fuck. What's on this map right now?
Will of Ember. Well,
that's another chicken egg situation. I don't remember which came first.
For the naming for things that there's not really much examples you could pull from, I don't think.
Yeah,
I
right.
think usually the region names are later.
The new American colonies is like the closest thing.
I'm pretty sure the Calypso Deeps actually did come after. I remember it had a different name before.
So it was the
Dakawanga.
Yeah, Dawanka Depths. So how did we get there from here? It's been so long. We were Pillars of Hercules is what I'm wanting to talk about, but it's been so long that I'm trying to remember how I got there. I kind of proposed this, and named this. And this is a very Alexy, there's a lot of me in the Calypso Deeps with, you can't go back and look at the original. The original just was kind of names all over the place, and then I organized them into clusters, going like, no, people would have themes. Things should be themed. When it comes to clusters, I tend to really like adhering kind of tightly to a theme, which it has not worked over here. So just the name Hadrian's Gaze, I'm like, what would we do with that? How could I play with that and get more names related to that or evocative of that? Would I do like sites along the wall? Would I do famous things that happen along the wall? Geographic areas, etc., etc., etc. So that's where the wheels are turning in my head. Wales and Northern Ireland, I think this is like 70% to 80%. It's really close. Ulster and Gwynedd, I think, are holding it back. Heritage Circus, I liked all of these. Yeah, I liked all of these. Watling feels like it should make me feel something, but it doesn't. And I think that's a me thing. But I think 80 to 90 in Heritage Circus, out of 100 scale here. Scotland, 80 to 90, pretty solid. Is there room for improvement? There always is. I don't give my work 100s either. Pioneers. I love Lovelace. I would keep Lovelace, and then I mean, we already stole philosophers over here, right? And so that it is a disservice to the United Kingdom that Locke and Mill are not up for grabs, because they'd fit really well here. You could. I don't want more people, but Lovelace works, and I don't know what you could put in there besides that. I think Shakespeare probably works, and it might be a me thing. Chaucer as well, Maxwell. I think once we start Maxwell would make a better unoccupied system along a frontier somewhere. I think very much like we have with some of the other names in here. There is an Argus system that changed. This changes. Don't worry about that. I think I renamed that. I don't fucking remember. It's been a long time since this has been updated. So it like needs work. I'm not sold on the Pioneers. The triage. Naming stars after nurses honors them to an extent that feels excessive. A planet, that's already a lot. A hospital, absolutely. A hospital ship class, sure. Like a series of hospital ships named after famous doctors and nurses, I think that's cool as shit. Cool as hell. But stars, they might not be larger than life enough for that. Even though Florence Nightingale is on here. Honestly, if you stick Lovelace, Nightingale, and find a third iconic British woman down in the Pioneers, I could look the other way. I could say, yeah, that works. But you know, that's just me being like, I like those people and I like those names, and bias. The colleges, I think, work really well. I don't think that you can improve on this, so this is another 80 to 90. I don't know how you'd improve on it, but I'm not handing out hundreds. The Atlantic line, man, I don't know. I think these are all really cool boat names, really cool ship classes. And like Pridwin really has something going for it. It does, despite the Fallout connection. Dreadnought, I think it's just so potent. It's like, well, you know, like the Dreadnought system being the location of like important shipyards or something. Maybe like the Dreadnought shipyards. That sounds pretty fucking cool. So maybe Challenger. Makes me think of the Challenger depths and makes me think of something more in the frontier, really pushing
That's probably a good thing, seeing as the Challenger depths was named after the Challenger.
Yeah. But just the feeling evoked by Challenger and the Challenger depths is exploration, is discovery, is pushing frontiers and pushing forward science by going out to where there aren't people. So having that be a populated system feels off to me. And same note for Beagle. But Beagle's so iconic, I would want a like science ship class named after the Beagle rather than the other way around. Argus, make it a ship class. maybe.
Also, just to clarify, the Argus that you saw earlier is
Argus and Argus. Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
Argies. But that changed too. I have no feelings, positive or negative, about castles. Those sure are. They sure are. I cannot provide useful feedback regarding the castles. I haven't been able to, and I will not be able to. Britannia, great. Commonwealth, maybe. Remembrance, maybe. Jubilee, yes. Sovereign, yes. Paramount, yes. Thistle, maybe. Red Hen, probably not. Whitehall, yes. Kenhenan, maybe. Rideau, up near Canada, 100%. If you did, I should point to it on the actual map. This is Rideau. 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 It is Rideau. That would make sense for me. But all told, Oak of Accession, not Ascension, Accession, pretty solid, like 70 to 80 here. I think this was a really admirable attempt and like a really good draft. A really, really good draft. Obviously, I have notes, and a lot of the hesitancy with like Red Hand and Shakespeare and Winchester as far as like tone goes is I'm trying to anticipate what Mark will think, and I'm like, I don't think he'll go for that, but I don't have like a specific reason why, and I could be completely wrong. But that's something that plays into this as well. Mark is happier with the current theme then I'm not unhappy with it. I feel this makes me feel nothing, which probably isn't good. I'm not unhappy with what we have. I would like to change some things in Canada. I'm not unhappy with this, but I don't love it. And what you all have proposed, I think, I don't love all of it. I like a lot of it. And like Peveril, Tintagel, Balmoral, Nightingale, Lovelace, Paramount, Sovereign, Jubilee, Cambridge, Oxford, a lot of these are evocative and evocative of ideas and feelings and themes that are really powerful, and I think speak a lot if they can transcend a continent and an ocean and a second continent for someone on the west coast of the United States to be like, oh yeah, I know what these are. So these are some really, really good choices. Obviously, I can't comment onto if we'll integrate them or not, or how we'll integrate them, but this was a really good proposal. If you want to do edits of it, that's great. If you want to keep talking about it, I highly encourage you to keep yapping about it. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, as the expression goes. Weird expression, but it is how it goes. I have passed this along for consideration, and I'll bring it up when I have like weekly check-ins. That I'll bring it up and I'll reiterate, hey, this is cool. What do you think about this? And we can chat about it a little bit, but right now the attention, I think, is doing some real soul searching with the United States. I keep forgetting that I want to do some draft edits of the Golden Horn and Magellan subcluster. We have, once the streams are back, whenever that happens to be, we'll probably be looking at Amazonia and the Argentine arm. The US renaming and Purge will almost certainly happen on stream as well. We aren't doing this one behind the scenes. There have been some edits and some like grammatical fixes here and there that have happened that haven't been published yet, but this will be in front of camera, this will be in front of camera, and presumably at the next world building stream, this will be at least talked about, because this is a really admirable attempt. Yes?
I have to say, has, funnily enough, a lot of parallel between the process behind the US and this process now, where you had like started with one like theme, thought of carrying through with it, and now as like the UK or like as the US got bigger, doing only that theme felt wrong.
Yeah.
And as the UK is as it is, I see that same like sentiment, and I get that as well. Where like going with one theme is a good seems initially like a good idea, but then like gets reiterated on. So I just thought the parallel is interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think you can make it work, and I think the UK, if you have to pick a theme, castles is not the worst one to go with, and it's functional. I think that nowhere else has as much of a singular theme going on. India did it first, but it doesn't anymore. Pakistan did it first, but it doesn't anymore. Grand Columbia does, but the feedback on Grand Columbia has constantly been, that's so generic. But that in Chile. like we only have like 5 stars to work with or 2 stars to work with. So I don't know. You're hard pressed in improving these. Turkey's theme is non-existent, and it shows if you're Turkish, which isn't good. It's better, but it's not great. This isn't a singular theme. This isn't a singular theme. This even isn't a singular theme. So I definitely do appreciate the criticism and critique and pushback on the castle theme name. I hear you. It's just, at the end of the day, not my decision to make. I can advise, I can submit proposals, but it's Mark's baby, right? And if Mark is like, oh, I'm good with that, I'm not gonna push that too much. I'll bring things up, I'll ask, I'll remind, I will insist at times, but it's
At the end of the day, this whole thing is just the one project. Is Mark's project.
Yeah, preserving that artistic, and preserving that artistic intent and that authorial voice is really, really important to me. I went through and I ran statistics, it's like a month or so now ago, with looking at star names and how many I've submitted, and it is a terrifying number of the names on the map that I named. I came up with, or researched, or first entered, or whatever. And I am not sharing that as a, oh, look at me, I do so much. No, I think that's bad. I don't want to dominate the tone, or the discussion, or the setting that heavily. I do if I earn it, but I want to earn it, right? I want more people involved, more conversations happening, more voices in the room, more perspectives, because that's how we make things better. If it's just me, and it's not, making a theme or saying what stays or goes, it's way too easy to get up my own ass about it. It's way too easy to get short-sighted about it, right? And so I really do think it is extremely cool that y'all took me at the word. I'll be honest, when I suggested a week ago, like, hey, here's what I need a proposal to look like, I thought it looked like a 50-50 if you take it up, and that is totally okay. You're under no obligation to, because I know intimately how much work it is putting together a document just like this, or having to write out the proposals, or having to sit and think through, okay, well, this cluster is this theme, what works out of this, and digging through dozens or hundreds of names per each star, per each cluster. It is exhaustive. So it is so heartening to see that work being done. It is so cool seeing other people suffer like I have. And like, by God, if these are not star names, Sovereign, Paramount, Jubilee, Whitehall, Sterling, Stormont, these have got to be planet names. Like, these are, a lot of these names are too good to not use somewhere. So thank you. Thank you very much. I am realizing that it has been a long time, a few weeks, since I went through and checked the name submissions. I should do that here by the end of the week. I've gotten so wrapped up in the Fanlore project that I've been doing that I haven't remembered to work on other things for the past 10 days as much as I should have. But what am I up to? 1943? So I have like a couple more weeks
it's been
left
a great
of that.
week.
Yeah. Ormer posted. Neat. I know folks have asked when we'll be back. Ormer just saying gotta go. Not even messaging me. Rude. Kerbal, me, the delirium. I'm so bad at reading chat. I'm so sorry. Scientists, engineers, yeah, nightingales, sea coal, I think. Yeah, Highland may not stay. Highland and Colwood, this area may or may not change. We're on the fence about that. Weren't any other artist names? Yeah. Artist though, I do like this in Easter egg. McCrae is a poet. You're right, Mikey. McCrae was also a soldier. Being a soldier and a poet, I think works really well over here. People often aren't singular things though, so yeah, it works. I feel like UK could benefit from a single system for places part of the UK like Bermuda, Malta, Gibraltar. No, I hate that shit, but maybe. That's very Dawn of Victory classic vibe, having like a Gibraltar system or a Falkland system. Names should make you feel something, and if that feeling is just, oh, that's on a map, or oh, that's a extension of empire, or that's a state, that's not doing it. It should be, oh, that's beautiful, oh, that's inspiring, oh, that's idyllic, oh, that's makes me want to fight or sing or, whatever. And so as a critique, a lot of these castles don't evoke feelings, and a lot of these proposed names do. And that's maybe the hardest part of naming, is not just finding cool sounding names or interesting names, but cool and interesting names that make you feel something. That's the most ambiguous part of the task. How long have we been at this? Like an hour and a half? Yeah. I can probably shut up now. Are there any questions about anything? Any pushback about anything before I hop off of here? It's okay.
I mean, I can't speak for the whole group that works on it. I am just the one.
Yeah.
I'd say you've done a good job. You went through it all. To be fair, you gave the feedback. That's all we kind of really wanted, and to hear that we did a good job.
Yeah.
Bonus.
Sincerely, I tend to like about, you all don't get to see how much I delete of my own work. I keep maybe a quarter of what I write, just to submit, and then later on I end up rejecting about a quarter of the stuff that I do submit. So if I go through and more than 20-25% of what a submission is in green, that's praise. That means you're doing as well thought out and hitting on the vibes as effectively as I would like to from my work. Yellow isn't bad, red isn't. I can be wrong, right? I need to reiterate, I can be wrong. I can get the tone wrong, and I often do. Well, not often do, but I do. So, I'm not the herald of God, right? Like, I can't tell you if this is good or bad. I can only give you my 2 cents, which is apparently worth something because I'm on the fucking team, but I don't want to be on a pedestal, and I don't want to ever talk about the work that other people submit, or proposals that people bring up, or the feedback that they bring up in a way that doesn't feel like we are peers talking about a project that we are both interested in. I don't ever want to give that impression. So y'all did fantastically. I hope you continue to keep yapping about it and working on it. And I think a lot of the vibes are quite right. It's hard to fucking do.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't have much else. I'm just sitting and looking at the map and realizing how much I want to go back and check and work on, and like, oh yeah, I have a to-do list. Not anything exciting, just like checking spelling and tedium.
Deleting
paperwork
two
and
clusters.
Well, I'm not gonna delete. Well, I can't. But if I could, what's the stupid meme? I might not say if I won the. Wow, I'm fucking butchering this. Oh my god, it's lottery. I might not share that I won the lottery, but there would be signs meme.
Yes.
There would be signs
yeah.
if I got edit permissions on this, and it's. I'm so glad to not have those edit permissions because all I am is an advisor, and that's so nice to not be ultimately responsible. There are things I'm ultimately responsible for, but it's nice to not have this this weight. I won't do it probably, but I've been watching a lot of diplomacy lately, and it has gotten me back in the headspace. It's been how many months has it been since we closed the RP down?
5?
6 months?
Like it wasn't 2024, so like I think 5 months. Let me check.
Can you see it still?
It's been a while. I mean, I never got involved.
You can see
in that
the logs of us
side
talking
thing.
about it.
Yes, I'm checking the last log of us like mentioning it.
Mm-hmm. I think
Oh, right, we like there is one channel that I still can see that we reappropriated.
I think the rest were straight up deleted. Maybe?
Damn.
Maybe?
Yeah,
Well, you all can't see them. If they're deleted or not is another question. I can't see them. I'm not a moderator on this server. I am on Temple and Main, but not here.
It was at the very least by October,
Yeah,
or like at the latest by October.
that sounds right. Okay.
Yeah.
I might pitch to Raven.
Oh boy. 5-dimensional.
Maybe doing diplomacy or something in April.
Announce it on April 1st. Just
That
be
way
sure.
I can pull it back and act like it was a lie. I may talk to Raven about that. Just as a pop-up event for a few weeks, for a month. That's fucking it. We'll see.
That could
we'll
be
see.
fun.
Could be, right? Could. It may be fun.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. There's
I'll
other
say
shit I should be focusing on. I want it to be pretty short and... Yeah, what were you gonna say?
out of all of the RP stuff, the diplomacy game and the like what happened in it or because of it was some of the more interesting stuff. Like some of the much more interesting stuff.
Yeah, which is sad. I think an open form RP has potential, but gamification works better.
Yeah, okay, but also like the RP that came out of the game was the more interesting RP, not even the game itself.
Facts.
So,
even if we don't recreate that part of the Discord, I might just have it be like a play by email thing, not actual email, play by DM on here, where people just submit orders by DM to me here, and I post in fucking Bangalore or something.
You won't make an email account just for that?
I have 4 or 5 already. I'm good. I could just use one of those.
Duana Victory. No.
What
the real question is, how many emails have you not read in those emails?
Oh, thousands, many thousands. My inbox is where emails go to die. It is March 27th. I am on 1943. I want to get to at least 1954. Okay, 9 more days until... That's not how math works. 11 more days. It's all be done by my birthday. Okay, cool. With this Bangalore project. And then at that point, maybe I could do diplomacy for a few weeks. But I don't know when, Storis 4.0 release date. This still hasn't been shared. Oh, Monday, May 5th. Okay. All right. Okay.
Wasn't Stellar Season 9 also announced?
Yeah, I actually saw an advert for that come up on my Insta. And it's just like, no, you can't be offering these like sales and things right above me because I am a poor uni student. I don't have the money to spend, but please don't tempt
If only.
It's the
if only.
same release date.
Yeah.
Season? I haven't played Star Wars in such a long time.
Yeah.
Season?
The way they're branding things is interesting.
They've started branding things into seasons, so that then you have like the next 4 DLCs are like part of season 9.
Yeah. I bring this up because people have brought up, and I think smart money is on. This would probably be around the time that Invicta would happen. I think that's what the smart money is. I know that it's not nailed to a specific date because those timelines aren't helpful for mental health and aren't helpful for getting things done, but I think that's a realistic timeline. So what the reason I brought that up is, well, okay, after I'm done with this fan war thing, there'll be like what, 3, 4, when's the 5th? When's the 5th of May? Open calendar. Maybe 4 weeks exactly. I could do 2 things at once. Can I get that started for the first? Was 4 days to get that? Yeah, I'll talk to Raven about it. I don't know. I'll check the temperature on that, and then I'll do an interest post to see if people are interested. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, it's fine. I'm juggling enough, and me being like, one more thing to juggle.
There's other time, like that can be done at any time. I would say.
Yeah.
Like it can be done when this. Well, theoretically, it can be done anytime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My interest is just things are quiet, and that's okay, but helping come up with things to keep people busy and entertained and keep talking about is great. And I do that with like discussion openers, which I haven't done in a while because I've been focusing on other things. Community engagement is important to me because I appreciate we see it a lot more over on Templin than we do on here. People going like, why is it taking so long? When are we going to be back? Is Mr. Templin dead? Mr. Templin is not dead. Mr. Templin has been posting.
I heard one user literally posted like some short paragraphs of how servers are, an average Discord server is inactive and shit. Like,
yeah.
Oh no! Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all there.
I don't love the backseating that happens over there. But I'm not bringing that up just to hate on Templin Main. They're fine people over there, but I've been very appreciative of the way the Dawn of Victory community has been very cool, very understanding, treating Mark and the DOV team like they're human beings and not just a content factory. It's really, really appreciated. It
exactly.
is really nice.
This is a big project. Things are gonna happen. Like
Things.
I speak from like my academic point of view. The crap that I've had show up. I've had a lot of crap come up. You don't want to stick to deadlines. If you stick to deadlines, it really puts a lot of pressure on yourself. Then you don't get happy with your work. Then everything goes badly.
Yep.
I can perfectly understand why there are gaps and breaks and things. Because again, all of us here, as far as I'm aware, are real human beings.
Trick you.
No.
Oh. But yeah, it's absolutely fine, and yeah, this is, to be fair, it's kind of fun being able to do things like this, like, and like having things like the competitions and things, because it's just, it's just a fun little bit of engagement for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, to be fair, I
It-
still also haven't finished the caught up yet on the map streams. I've still got like half of the last stream to go through.
It's
But
it's
I'll get around to it.
it's a long backlog. I have watched through all of them at least 4 or 5 times, but I have to in order to double check what we were thinking or how things flowed or where certain names came from, rereading through YouTube chat, etc., etc. I would not wish this on anyone else. This is a volunteer gig. And it's not mandatory viewing, right? I
Still cool to hear his ramblings, but
I think when we come back in full force, Mark will probably talk to a greater extent about like, hey, it's been a long time, because the last update was around the holidays with talking about some of the delays. Mark is in a much better position to convey the comedy of errors. Well, not even comedy of errors, like comedy of accidents and setbacks and tragedies that have happened to myself and a lot of the other team members off and on, to like delay. It's God doesn't want to make this happen, but fortunately for us, I choose to embrace a demiurge as far as this process goes and say, fates be damned, we're gonna make this thing fucking happen. Unless it kills me, and then I have to hope the next person has the same do or die attitude.
Yeah, you have to get at least to the point where enough people would also want to spite fate.
Hey, we were getting
by
there. I
making
had
this.
a cult on here, and then Raven made me change the names of everyone.
We can rebuild.
Yeah, we
wait,
no,
what
no.
I missed? What?
There was a time 8 months ago, 7 months ago, where at first one person ended their name with Codex at the end. It was someone very dear to me, a mod and a friend from elsewhere. Cabra is a mod on here. Cabra did it. Then people started copying Cabra doing it, and so there was like, I think all told, like 2 dozen people with Codex at the end of their name, and I don't know. Raven was like, it's confusing. People have to change their name back. They're impersonating staff. I'm like, they're not impersonating staff, but we're not allowed to have fun here, so no cult for me.
Business only.
She knew what was happening, and she just had to get a reason to stop the cult.
I was becoming too powerful.
Yes.
Shame.
I am very intentionally not a moderator and not an administrator on this server. I have too much fucking pull as is. I don't want that. I like the distribution of power, but I will have it back by hook or by crook. The cult will rise again. I want to take a quick glance at I'm gonna move this off screen for a second to make sure I don't share into this at the right list, right? Yes, okay. That's the right account, and boom. How many names do I have to go through here? I'm not doing it right now. Those are old. New UK names, probably not a lot.
I think I added one in there somewhere, but I'm not big on the names.
I'm trying to see how long my next stream is gonna need to be.
So many US names, that's crazy.
And there are nearly 2,000 rejected names. And this isn't even counting duplicates and deletions. The US name popped off,
like a few.
and the Pacific names got split off of that too. There were a lot of them. USA, we have one. Yeah, one. Golden Lady. I don't like it, Ormer. You can bring it up, lady. Waiter. I don't like it. I'll consider that later.
Yeah, the lady hater.
First time I've heard that. Australasian, yeah, we don't need to make too many changes there. Philippines. I want to move to the new spreadsheet so badly. It looks so much better and it's so much easier to use. Well, it'll happen. Okay. EAF, probably nothing new here. They're duplicates. It's fine. They're not in the new sheet. Independent. Oh my god. I'm gonna develop arthritis. Oh, yeah, there's a few of them. Okay. I'll look at this later. Concept Far Frontier. Long shot, headway. But Sojourner's so good with the names. Sojourner's cooking. Built different, in fact. Dead End, yeah, that's another good one. Pakistan and India. Okay. Alright, that's not too much. I can do that in an hour or so. Not right now, though. Not right now. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. I'm gonna skedaddle, get out of here. When we come back, whenever that happens to be, we'll have a standard schedule of like, streams on this day, new lore on this day. Right now, typically, if you pay attention to the bulletins, they tend to get pushed on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at a consistent time. We used to have world building streams on Wednesdays, and so I would do streams on Thursdays and Fridays, going through the changes, going through submitted names, seeing what good fits were. I don't know what we'll go back to meet that pattern in the future, what that'll look like. We'll get there, though. So for the time being, me going through spreadsheet nerd streams are pretty erratic. But if people post proposals like this, I'll apparently drop what I'm doing and talk about it. I got a soup to get back to. Have a great evening, everybody.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head to bed now because it'll be 11 o'clock over in the UK. So
I appreciate you staying up. Alrighty, bye. I cut them off. Rude AF, Alex. Oh, if you keep talking, we're just gonna keep talking forever. Forever and ever and ever. Okay, yeah, pretty cool. Really admirable attempt, and I wouldn't publish it right now. I wouldn't push it to the live version, but some of those changes I like a lot. I like what was going on in here. I like Lovelace. I like Nightingale. But I think I just like those as names too. They sound good. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Very touched that people decided to make good on that and give it a shot. It's inspiring shit. I don't know when the hell I'm gonna be back. I'm very much alive. I'm not dead. But I have been preoccupied. I have had other stuff going on. I have been distracted. And I'll probably continue to be distracted. So until later, whenever that happens to be, I'm gonna say toodaloo. Take care. I will see you then. Bye-bye.